Okay, it is late June. I harvested the potatoes that I had started in the greenery. Got a nice little basket of those. I still have potatoes out in one of the raised beds. I have not yet, I did put together the new trellis, but I obviously don't have the hardy kiwis in there yet. Citrus is still questionable as to whether it will get housed this winter. I have a few small potential. Those are key limes. Don't really have anything on the 2 lemon trees, barely have leaves, and all of the blossoms are gone. So, anyway, and that one had a couple of blossoms starting, but I don't see anything from it, so we'll have to see what happens. I did clean up the potting area a little bit. I know it's hard to tell, but I did. Rejigging the pondless waterfall. I'm probably going to get another large pond liner this winter and reset it. I've got a slow leak somewhere. I've tried to figure it out. I never did foam it all in so that all of the rocks are loose. But I'll probably redo that this fall. Everything else is doing pretty well. Pollinator bed is looking good. I'm actually rather proud of the fact that while it's still not perfect, I did clean out the garden shed, reorganize it so that it's at least easier to get everything in and out and find what I need. And the lavender bed is glorious, and the bees love it. We've got a bit of a storm coming in, so some of the bees have already decided to go find some shelter, but that's okay. They've been enjoying themselves quite a bit out here. A few of them are still hanging out, buzzing about. And that's why the lavender is there, a volunteer sunflower. I cut out the bachelor buttons except for a couple that are still upright. We had a big storm blow through and it just knocked everything all to pieces. But they gave me the opportunity to go get some Stokes asters, and I've just put in 3 that are perennials, just like the one that's about to bloom over in the pollinator bed, and that is pretty much my favorite flower these days. As you can see, the kale has gone crazy. So we've had an interesting incursion. We have a little den of bunnies. And see if you can see that little guy in there. And he has a few little litter mates. You can just barely see a face with a closed eye. He's cute. They're cute. Shouldn't be there, but Todd's like, no, they're living things. We have to take care of them. As long as they don't eat my tomatoes, we'll be okay. Everything in the square garden is doing really well. I just harvested a bunch of tomatoes, and goodness knows I've got a lot to go. At this point, if I have any breakage up high, it's done. I'm just going to harvest what's there. That is more than enough for us. Lots coming. Lots coming. Beautiful clusters in here. Surprising amount of bell peppers this year. It's amazing what happens when they get light. Since they've been struggling with that in the past years. Wow, those are actually marigolds that apparently ate their Wheaties, or at least they are climbing for light. But yeah, lots of bell peppers are on the way, so that is excellent. As I've mentioned to my friends, I'm not going to can tomatoes this year. I'm going to get a decent recipe to can like a good spaghetti sauce. And as you can see, this is the north side, so nothing grows to this direction, but everything is looking good in there. Haskell's are happy. I still love hyssop. That is just the most awesome smelling flower. So I'm glad those are doing well. Those were Those I actually did buy as plants. I have a bunch of volunteers all over the place, especially all of the hyssop coming up in the front of the pollinator bed. That is self-seeded, so. And the wind is picking up. Haskaps are all doing well. We do have bunny pressure, so you know the berries that we had in there are pretty much gone. Thank you, bunnies. Eventually these will get big enough, and eventually I'll deal with the bunnies, and I'll actually, I've got one Haskap right here. I'm sure it'll be gone like tomorrow, because, you know, bunnies. So, but eventually those will get big enough, and we'll take care of the bunnies. The carrots, now that the lettuce is gone, are starting to get some size, and as you can see, lots of bell peppers coming. And I just dropped a few little carrot seeds in between the lettuce I had there, so hence why they are spaced out. The onions, some of them are starting to look good. Their green stalks are still upright, so I'm not doing anything with them, but rather pleased with those. I have red romaine lettuce going to seed, and on the other side I have butter crunch lettuce going to seed. A lot of self-seeded amaranth, as well as a few that I intentionally put in that bed. I'll get better with it. And you can see a lot of the seed pods are drying on a combination of things in there. Kale went to seed, as well as some of the sprouting broccoli and broccolinis and things like that. I'm not going to have a good onion haul because the brassicas just overtook that portion of the bed, but I do have one garlic that threw up a scape that I need to take off and cook with that. I'll do that tomorrow. The potatoes here, there's still some flowering. Until those completely die back, or until it gets, you know, like 100 degrees, I'm going to give them a few more weeks to, you know, finish doing what they're going to do. I would like to find a non-wet time to get them out, but I mean, it's July 4th next weekend. And I did put them in basically around St. Patrick's Day. So they're at over 3 months right now, which 90 day plus. So they should be close to harvesting. I don't know if you can actually tell, but all of the huge windstorm we had come in on Wednesday made all of my stuff lean. Everything is leaning. So if you follow the structure on this, from there, it actually goes down to this corner. Everything's leaning, but everything got tied down, so it didn't get blown over. Oh, that's not good. Gotta check on that tomato. I was going to feed them this afternoon. Figured that would be good for them. Lots of tomatoes coming. And then here's the butter crunch that has gone to flower after bolting. And the basil's gone crazy in there. All of those I started from seed. So I've had some good luck this year. It's amazing what light will do. And good grow lights. I can't discount the awesomeness of that. The new design of the potato bed was successful. Wow, I even have an assassin bug in there. Cool. A few little bugs have gotten in, but no white butterflies, so that means no cabbage loopers, no issue with those. No harlequin bugs. I seem to have eradicated those last year, but still have, you know, potatoes flowering and doing stuff. And of course, when they pop out like that, it provides an opportunity for things to get in. So I'll need to tuck that in. And eventually, the holes are dug to do the north side wall, and still one post in for the second raised bed. So still haven't done that. I did finally thin out the apples on the apple trees down there so that they wouldn't be so heavy to cause, you know, stress on the limbs. I see some limbs are drooping. I may have to go down there and just remove fruit so that they have enough time to, you know, size up to be able to handle the weight of it. And then the new The new magnolias we put in are doing good. Even the 2 that we transplanted that got waterlogged last winter, they're bouncing back. I mean, it'll just be slower. And then we got 4 more loblolly pines delivered this past Monday that we put in, and those are they're looking good. So yay. We're done. I'm done with putting in infrastructure trees, except when we take out the 2 Bradford pears that are over there, and then I'll probably bring in maybe some double blossom cherries, or a nice plum or crab apple, because the Bradford pears are tagged for removal this winter, and that will be good. And we did figure out how to move the big chicken coop, which will come here to this not perfect but good enough area close to, you know, our enclosure, that we can get to it quickly if we needed to, and have a little bit of protection from sun and wind and things like that. Instead of being out in the open, it'll be at least with some trees. Trees over there help a little bit this summer to protect it, and then the small one we still move around the field with the rooster in it. He still doesn't have friends, but he will someday. It'll happen. So the rest of that, everything's doing well. It's a happy little garden this year, and someday I will finish. I will do, I guess, like I said, I've got the trellis together. Ta-da! And this will be the start of the walkway going around and going down the side, because we'll have to harvest the hasp caps from both sides once they get bigger. So that's on my agenda to do before the end of the year. But I'm probably over 4th of July weekend going to get down kill everything in there, cardboard, landscape fabric, get the gravel on it, and then finish putting the trellis in place and start that process. So little by little, volunteer borage, making the bees happy. They love it. I like it. It's okay. That is 1 borage plant, by the way. 1. So anyway, it looks like we might get rain this afternoon, which is awesome. Everything loves that. And we'll leave with I am bonsaiing the Japanese maple to get the form I want. So I got the heavy gauge wire to sort of tweak the branches, and then I've got it tied down to enforce shape. But loveliness, thoroughly enjoy the pondless waterfall, and got videos of a couple different birds doing their little bird baths earlier today, which was really cute. So that's why it's here. It's here to support our little wildlife friends. Anyway, that's all for the end of June. Hopefully July will not be as oppressively hot as it has been in past years. Oh, and we'll end with a shot of Cricket. Cricket is going to punish me because I don't let Cricket come out into the backyard right now because of the baby bunnies. She, when I opened the gate yesterday, she ran in, snatched one. I heard a squeak, and I chased after her, and luckily she is a good girl. When I yelled drop it, she dropped it. And then I had to grab her collar with both hands and straddle her and walk her out of there and lock the gate so that I could put the bunny back into its, that raised bed, and it made its way back into the hole. So she's not allowed in the backyard until the bunnies leave their den. Nothing we can do if they come in through the fence, but they really are sitting ducks right there, and she knows where they're at. So anyway, so that's it for the end of June.